It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you yesterday? Yesterday we were shaking the Monday morning blues with the Do Time crew. And we talked about the reasons why you need to be careful when you're dating a man who is recently separated. Well, the first one we talked about is he still got one foot in the marital door and one foot out, if he's out at all. Now listen, ladies, listen. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. I know good and well. A lot of times they tell the stories. Let me just move over. I got to get in the center here. They just tell all kinds of stories. Oh, they're not together anymore. They're sleeping in a different room. They just there for their kids. Yeah, you know how it goes down. And we can't believe that. We can't believe that. No, I'm sorry. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. It's not going down like that. So therefore, that commitment level, you will have to be real careful. Now, there are some men who are honest. But listen, just to be on the safe side, give him some room. If he say he just got out, you stay away until there's some time. Because not only that, you don't want him going directly from the marriage to you. Right? Right. What else? He's still struggling with the divorce. You know, he may be separated and out. And I mean literally separated, not that word separated, but literally he's done. He's not involved anymore. But again, there's that transitional period that we all need. And we need to make sure that he does not have his head still in the relationship. Now, let me say this to you, because I'm thinking realistically here. Realistically speaking, his head needs to still be there. Yes, because how are we supposed to get that transition? There needs to be a transitional period. He does not need to go from the divorce into your arms. He don't need to go from the divorce and kissing all over you. He don't need to go from no divorce to now hugging up on you and loving you and putting his mind in you, because where will he learn what went wrong back then? Make sense? Makes sense. So he still is struggling with the divorce. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. I gotta let y'all see my beautiful shirt here. Yes. I'm getting off topic, but I was just kind of looking in the camera and I realized that it was missing. But yeah, go back a minute. He needs, again, just like you, if you left the relationship, you need to get that done. Get it done. Get it over. Get it out your system. Get it off your plate. So you want to make sure that that's happening. Okay? And it can't happen when he didn't automatically just move from one person to the next. If the kids are struggling with the divorce, you need to be careful. And let me just help you with this. That's young kids and old kids. The worst story I ever heard was a couple who had been together. It was it was a tumultuous relationship. They needed to be separated. They needed to be separated. It really did. So they did get a divorce, and there were children involved. He went his way. He ended up in another relationship. She went her way. She ended up in another relationship. The children were grown. So grown that one of the kids had their own kids. Yeah, they had grandchildren. And do you know they were still whining about the fact that their parents were not together and they were divorced? And I'm sitting saying, well, weren't you there when the pots and pans were being thrown? And stop, come on, grow up. You yourself have become a parent, and you already see how a relationship can go bad and how it can be good. That don't work. So how you want grown people? So I'm not saying you need to be worried about the grown people. What I'm trying to tell you is it's real. This thing with kids struggling with the divorce, it's real. For real. So you want to be careful when you're dating a man who's got, especially little people. You don't want to get involved with that. You don't want to be involved with that. All right, well, here's a biggie. He might just be using you. And if you were on deck yesterday with Pastor KL, he definitely talked about this one. Oh, yeah. He talked about the fact that, the separation and the divorce just may have happened, and he need a place to stay. Oh, shucks now. Are you ready for that one? There's a possibility, ladies, that he just might be using you. It's real. It's real, and then it's real. So those are just some of the things we talked about yesterday with the Due Time crew. So, it's we like to talk about real stuff here. And we like to talk about grown people stuff here. So let's get down to the real facts and hard reality, and we ain't gonna have no problems. All right. Well, yesterday was the Switch with Shanti's Day, and the switch tip was don't be basic. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Being basic. Go outside the box. Think big. Think with your head. Don't be basic. I love the fact that once we serve God and once we have the Holy Spirit kind of navigating the way, we don't think basic anymore. No, because that's the way the people in the world think. They don't think about all the possibilities that may be going on. They don't think about all the things that could be and need to be considered. And they just go straight for what it looks like. And in this world, if you want to make it, you're going to have to get yourself together and think outside the box. You're not going to be able to think like when you were 20 years old and now you're 55. No, you need to just grow some. And I love Shantice's tip yesterday. Don't be basic. Pastor Steph cannot give it the way Shantice gave it. I can only put my spin on it. But if you want to hear more about not being basic, get that switch tip. All the scriptures that she always so kindly throws into the pot that you can't get away from. Go back and listen. Yes, you can. You can go back and listen. YouTube is always available. You can go back and listen on Spreaker.com. You can go back and listen on iHeartRadio, Spotify. If you got that Apple product, go back and listen on Apple Podcasts or Apple iTunes. Yes, we are available there. Okay? All right. Well, today is Let's Talk About It Tuesday, church Folk Day. Woo! Now, unfortunately, I ain't feeling these news stories, so I'm hoping that the due time listeners keep it stirred up in that chat room, and I am really looking forward to getting it in with y'all today. Y'all always keep me laughing. I got my little trusty device in front of me. I can read your comments. I ain't struggling. As of yesterday, the ladies in the back helped me get this together. So let's get this party started. Go ahead and get your healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody that it's due time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
Thing I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. However long you think this is supposed to take, go ahead and double it. Double it. And not because you're not going to try, not because your plan won't work, but because we have been conditioned to expect instant gratification from our bodies, and that is literally not the way you were designed. It took you 10 years to gain that weight, but you want it off in 21 days. There are 10 years worth of habits and beliefs and systems and routines that the carnivore diet can't unteach you. On top of that, it's gonna be your birthday. You're gonna get invited to brunch. You might travel. You'll miss a day in the gym. And you'll have stop starts for the rest of this year. At best, losing a pound a week this year is absolutely attainable, but your body won't lose weight every week. And after you lose about 10% of your body weight, your body's gonna decide that it don't wanna lose weight no more. So what then? You don't know, and that's okay. I had to learn the hard way.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. And it is Let's Talk About It Tuesday Church Folk Day. Well, it's our second week live in the morning every day, Monday through Friday on YouTube, A Closer Walk Christian Talk Show, and Coach for Christian Life Facebook page. Now, I welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you know how to get this done, good. If not, let me tell you how the rules are. Make sure you go in the chat room and you check in with Pastor Steph. Let me know that you're in the room so I can say a hearty good morning. As always, I first check in the morning. Kelly, good morning, Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. Our girl Sherry, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Our girl Teresa. Hey, Teresa. And I don't know what to call you. Caprice, Majesty, our sister. She's always hanging around in the background. Thank you so much for joining us. We got our God Majesty in the room. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. We got our girl Vivian. Yep, you know Vivian. Vivian from Wednesday mornings, Wild Wednesday. Yep. Hey, Viv. Good morning. Thank you for checking in. We got our girl, our lady Tamika. Yep, you know Tamika. She was on yesterday. Our lady Tamika from Wild Wednesday. Good morning. Hey, girl. Yes, our girl Majesty. Good morning to you too. So thank you so much. She says sitting in the back with her big church hat on. Yes, my girl Tamika, make sure you get it done. And I could not do this at all. I mean, not even a little bit without my ladies who hold me down in the background. We got our girls Shantice and Anika. Thank you so much for keeping Pastor Steph going. Good morning. And I don't know if Auntie Pam is in the room because she just does not check in. But I want to say a good morning just in case because she's always listening. So good morning, Auntie Pam. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. So I couldn't do this without you. I love the chat room. That is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful feature to this live video. And I'm trying to figure out, how did I make it without this all along? You know, our old, what do you call it? Block Talk. Y'all were hitting me up on my phone, and I had to keep picking up the phone, but I love this. I love this feature. So please make sure you go tell a friend that is Due Time with Pastor Steph is on, and we are talking about some things this morning. So, what are we talking about? You know how we get down on Tuesday mornings. We're always talking about those little tidbits. So you know what to do. Make sure you kick it up in the chat room, okay? So, this morning, we're talking about some ways people say they stay frugal throughout the year. Now, just for those of you who are not that close with Pastor Steph, they talk about me like a dog. They always talk about how I'm cheap, how I save money. I'm always looking for the sales. Yeah, I always tell my girls, were you ever hungry? I always ask them that. Y'all talk about how cheap I am. Ain't nobody ever had a hungry day. We ain't never sat in the dark. Yeah, that's because we ate the apple zings instead of the, what do you call those things? Apple Jacks. We ate we drank the Dr. Thunder instead of the Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I ain't embarrassed. So, Pastor Steph is pretty frugal. And let me know if you're a frugal individual, or if you're frugal in an area and you're not about to budge. So let's see what the people have said. Okay, they say, I'll always use the library to borrow audiobooks, Kindle books. Yeah, they said they save about $4,000 a year. Yo, that ain't a bad savings, especially if you put that in an entirely separate account. Yo, I'm with you. I'm with you. Make sure if you have that frugal moment that you make sure you don't go outside the box. Throw it in the chat room. Let me know. I'm coming back to it. Okay, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth. All right. Somebody says, I only subscribe to one streaming service at a time. Once I sign up, I immediately cancel and use it until the month is up. If there are still a few things I want to watch, I'll go another month. If not, I'll move on to a new one. Well, listen, if I were to tell you how much money is spent in this house on streaming, and including cable. Yes, because that's how we keep our internet and all of that stuff affordable. Yeah, without the whole cable package, they know how to get you. We pay an astronomical amount if we were not to just get the whole package. And baby, I tell you, the streaming, I don't know many that we don't have. Yeah, so I'm with the individual that says, just sign up, cancel, and keep it moving. Somebody says, I save and reuse gift bags and tissue paper. That ain't a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. They say gift boxes too. Somebody says, I'll never pay to withdraw my own money from a cash machine. It would have to be life or death before I paid even $1. Well, you know what? I got to tell you, I don't go to the cash machine, but maybe twice a year, 2-3 times a year. Because, they hit you up like crazy for them fees. Yes. So how much money do you actually save when you don't go to the ATM all the time? And that's the best thing you could do, keep $1 in your pocket. Well, let me see what my Due Time listeners are saying. Let's see. Somebody is saying, I do that too. What do you do too? I don't know. I don't know what you do too. I read a couple of things. Somebody says, I used to be frugal, but I've changed over the years. I used to use BJ's, but I now use Costco's gas now because it makes my car run better. That saves you money over time. Absolutely. The gas, when you buy cheap gas and you put wear and tear on your car, yep. That was a little tidbit that my father gave me. I used to drive a truck, and he used to say to me all the time, Stephanie, don't put no cheap gas up in here. And somebody told me, oh, you could put regular in the truck. And I did, and I noticed it was just like dragging and dragging and dragging. And I didn't pay no mind. It was getting me from point A to point B, and it was a newer car, but it was okay until one day he took me to the gas station. He said, "Come on, I'm gonna buy you some gas." And he put the gas in the car, and he bought me the top. I don't even know what it's called anymore. And when I took off, the car went phew down the block. I was like, okay, that was it. And when I went to the mechanic told me, he's like, you are really putting wear and tear on your car by not using the high grade gas. So you're right, Majesty. Well, Caprice, because I got two Majesties in the room. Yeah. So isn't that something? Two Majesties in the room. So I gotta say Caprice and Majesty. All right. Okay. So Shanti says, I only had stars while power was streaming, then canceled it. Yeah, big time. I'm with that to find banks, 7-Eleven or Walgreens. Absolutely, because they got the cheap ATMs. Katie says, I'm very cheap. My kids hate going to the store with me. Yep, because they don't know how to shop properly. Costco gas is the best next to Sunoco Premium. All right. All righty. Keep it coming. I'm going back to our little article here. Somebody says, eat leftovers and try my hardest not to throw food away. Absolutely. When you buy that pack of meat that costs you like $6 or $7, go home and cook it. You think about if you were to buy the fast food for $6 or $7, you ain't getting nothing these days. You can't get McDonald's, you can't get White Castle, you can't get Burger King, you can't get anything. You can't get the Caribbean food, you can't get the beef patty with cheese. You can't get nothing for $6. But if you buy that pack of meat, it's gonna stretch. Okay. Woo! Somebody says I'm thrifty. I've got a buttload of money, and that's because I make sure I buy vintage clothing over designer garbage any day. And I gotta tell you, when you buy your clothing, you gotta make sure, what did I do? Y'all? And I just blacked myself out. I think I did. I don't know what I did. Y'all can't see me. So you're going to have to give me a minute to get my screen back up. The world did I press? Okay, we're going to try to do what we need to do here. We get Pastor Steph back up and running. You see me, but I don't see my tab. I'm so sorry, y'all. I need some technical assistance here. I don't know. Help me find my tab.
Can't have your support system in the background.
Okay, Pastor Steph needs some technical support this morning. There's two running.
Okay, we'll edge you out more.
All right. Okay, y'all. Somebody says I get water instead of soda when eating out because the outrageous cost of a glass of soda is $3-4. Yeah, big time. I only drink water anyway. I only drink water anyway. I can't afford to drink soda on the street unless refill. Do people still ask? I know Sharkeisha always tell us, stop asking if you have refills. All right. Oh, this is bad. Okay, you're gonna have to give me a couple of minutes to get this together because I can't take this echoing. Okay, thank you so much for being with Pastor Steph and my little technical difficulty this morning. Yes, but listen, my first time. So thank you so much. All right, so let me see. Did y'all throw me some new stuff? All right, let me see. Let's go. Oh, we got a good morning from our boy Serge. Hey, Serge. Good morning. Thank you for stepping in. Oh, we got our girl Renee. Hey, Renee. Thank you for stopping by. Renee says, I am frugal Fanny. Wherever I can save $1, I will. And good morning. Amen. Amen. Majesty, Capri says, I try to shop once a month if I can, but I eat as healthy as I can. I shop at big box store like Sam's Club and Costco, BJ's, because I get money back for shopping. I buy the higher membership. Oh, okay. Is the higher membership worth it? That's the one thing I have not tried. I just go for the basic. But let me know how this, bigger, larger, higher membership works, because generally I try to keep it pretty simple. All right. Tamika says, I bulk shop. We only grocery shop once a month, and we freeze things like peppers, potatoes, and onions so that they last longer. Yes. Juicing is everything. And yes, I get checks and rebates back. Okay. Yes, I'm with the bulk shopping. I got some newbies hanging around me. And we save a lot more money bulk shopping. That going to the store every 15 minutes and buying things. No, you buy the stuff, you freeze it, you get it on the side. And they always tell me, you buy too much, Miss Steph. Listen. I catch it, I get it, and when we need it, we have it. Thank God we got a little extra storage space. It's just in shambles right now. But when the weather changes and we get it together, we'll make it work. Okay? That wastes so much money when we run to the store every 15 minutes. Trust me when I tell you. Let me get a couple of extra things that they're talking about on my little list here. Somebody says squeeze every ounce of toothpaste before replacing it. Absolutely. Yes. I used to see somebody and they used to twist it. And who did I see? They used to cut the bottom of the toothpaste. I never did that. It's just time to buy a new tooth, y'all. But if you cut the bottom of the toothpaste out to scrape up that bottom of the, what do you call that thing? To scrape up the bottom of the toothpaste. So listen, do your thing. Add water to the end of the shampoo, conditioner, body wash to get that one last wash. Absolutely. Why not? It's your money. Somebody here says the same thing. Buy in bulk. We had a snowstorm and we bought everything. And that was the first time we bought everything in large bulks, and we have not stopped yet. That's the way to go. Cut my kitchen sponges in half. They fit better in some glassware like that. Those who live in my household, they just gave me an idea. No, I'm serious. I'm not doing that. But okay, listen, if it works, it works. It works. Cleaning my own apartment. Yo, that has to save you some money. That has got to save you some money. Somebody says budgeting. I use my phone calculator while grocery shopping to ensure I don't overspend, and I have a checklist beforehand. Okay. Listen, I calculate in my head. I'm with the calculator. Get them pennies. You save them pennies. I make coffee at home and do not buy bottled water. And one thing, we keep the bottled water company running. Trust me. All right. Turn off the lights in the house. Should I say that again? Turn the lights off. Not only turn the lights off, turn that water off. Absolutely. You'll save a whole lot of pennies if you do that. Oh, absolutely. What else? Buy store brand groceries. Absolutely. Listen, stop telling me you only eat Del Monte and what's the other one? Green Giant. By the time I season that food up, you won't know what hit you, baby. You won't know what hit you. So learn to use a little seasoning. You won't be able to tell whether it's Del Monte or Green Giant. Try it. You'll like it. All right. Let's see. Reuse Ziploc bags. Drives my husband insane, but for me, it's a money thing as well as an environmental thing. No sense in throwing away a bag you use one time. Absolutely. But cook at least one cheat meal a week, like red beans and rice or pasta, chicken and a veggie, and it keeps me grounded. Okay. Take public transportation. Yeah, that'll put a little money in your pocket, but not in New York City. You take public transportation, that might cost you your life. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me check in with you all to see what you're saying before we finish this thing here. Shati says cutting the bottom of the toothpaste is ghetto. Listen, people gotta do what they gotta do, girl. That's me, and I turn every bottle upside down. Absolutely. Where we cut the bottom. Oh, go ahead. Tamika says yes. I cut the bottom and I use soap until it falls completely apart. Lotion tubes get cut too. Yo! I love my Due Time listeners. I have Amazon's business account too. You won't imagine how much you save. Come together with others. Yes, Caprice, that is the thing to do. I don't go shopping hungry. Oh, yes, I had to stop doing that years ago. That is a key thing. Don't go shopping hungry, because then you'll be snacking. And you have to buy the extra stuff. I brought a device that keeps my light bill down. Girl, you better throw that device up in here and let us know what you're doing. Shanti says Pastor Steph wants us to feel our way around. She says, Pastor Steph wants us to feel our way around the house. Memorize where everything is so we won't have to turn lights on. Listen, you live there 5 days, you should know where everything is. Okay? If not, then if you feel your way, you'll be all right. Okay? Yes. Athena says, blessings to a new day. If you're going through a storm, just stand still with faith, prayer, and purpose. Make it a great day. Good morning and thank you, Athena. Public transportation is saving me a lot of money because her car only takes 93, which means she's got to put extra money in her car for gas. All right. Well, thank you, my Due Time listeners. for always keeping me laughing. All right, what we talking about today in the news? Let's talk about it Tuesday. Let's see. I told you I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed at all with the news. I was up early this morning, still hoping that I would find something. So this is from one of, how does Vivian say it? From our loyal listener. So we know that Eric Adams has been worried about his robbery case. Well, listen, y'all. The two, Trump and Adams, they up to something, because Trump just threw out, semi-threw out, Mayor Eric Adams's case. Yeah. The Department of Justice ordered the Manhattan prosecutors to dismiss the historic robbery case against Mayor Eric Adams. Okay. Now, here's the thing. They can bring this case back up. Yeah. They dismissed it. And I always get this a little mixed up. Without prejudice. And now they're able to go back and, later on, after this 2025 mayoral campaign, they are going to readdress it, possibly. And he's all excited. And I wouldn't be trusting nobody, especially somebody's Trump. I would not be trusting this at all. Now, they up in cahoots because, they're saying that Biden was the reason why Mayor Adams was in this hot water. And my thing is, Adams is the reason why Adams is in this hot water. How Biden got something to do with the conversations you have? No, you should be making deals. So now Trump claims to be on his side, and they're dismissing the case right now. But listen, here's my thing. Go ahead and dismiss it all you want to. Go ahead and wait till after the 25 race. You don't stand a chance, my brother, because ain't nobody voting you back in. And you can forget that. You can forget that. So bye-bye. Ain't nobody think about you next go round. And that is for sure, as they say. What else are we talking about this morning? The news was boring this morning. All right. So we haven't talked about the slutty teachers for a while. Well, they're back in the news big time, as there is a teacher who they say had a sexual relationship with a special needs student. Why don't they put these people underneath the jail? Yeah, if you are doing some nasty stuff with the students, that's bad enough. But when you manipulate the children who have special needs, you need to be in a special class with a whole bunch of, as Brother Al would say, big bubbers. Yeah. Now, they've got this Kay Ewer, who's a paraprofessional, and they say she was busted after they found she was playing favoritism. Yeah, that's how she got busted. She was giving the 16-year-old boy little special privileges. Yeah, she's 28 years old. And after they spotted little things she was doing back in November 23, they started investigating her. And lo and behold, come to find out that when they did the research, they said that they had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of messages that were sent to her. And vice versa. And they said that, ooh, she even introduced him to fentanyl. Now, you want that on your hands as well? Yes, they say that she introduced him to drugs as well. And she also attempted to get him to bring a gun to the school to shoot a fellow faculty member in the school. Yo, she's all extra crazy and off the chain. Wow. What do you do with her? You know, I always ask, does the punishment fit the crime? So they say she faces at least 10 years of sexual offender probation, which could be a life sentence depending on the treatment program. She apologized to her victim's family in court. Yo, ain't no apology. I'm sorry. Just go do your time, woman. Just go do your time. Well, the boy is 16. She's 28. And, you know, here's my thing. They say thousands upon thousands upon thousands of text messages that was going between the two of them. How does that even happen? How does that even happen? How does that happen? Where are the parents? Where's your mama? Now, I understand that, you know, special needs, you know, it's kind of like in degrees. But yo, where were you? Where were you when all of this stuff was going on? Where were you when he was trying fentanyl? He wasn't acting a little different. He wasn't like sleeping more or where. How does your special needs child use drugs as heavy as fentanyl and you don't know nothing about this? Y'all help me with this one. I don't know. I'm sorry. Miss me on that one. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. What else are we talking about? Okay, yeah, we got to talk about this one. Here we go with the ghetto people. So, here in New York City, in the Bronx, there's a father, and they say early Sunday morning, he came home. I think he DJs. He's a DJ, and he does something else. I'll find it. But he normally pays for a parking spot right next door to where he lives. And he came home and someone else was parked there. So Trevor Hughes, 49, ended up getting into this back and forth with this other individual who was out on his forever probation. What's his name here? LeVar Davis. He did 24 years in jail. He's done 24 years in jail already. Parked in this guy's, him and this other guy was parked in this spot. And he approached them about it. And they got into this heated argument. And lo and behold, this LeVar shoots him in the stomach and he dies. Not only do they beat him up, but they beat his girlfriend up really badly till they had to call the ambulance for her. All of this over a parking space. Now again, he had already done 24 years in state prison, and they say that he was released from Attica in 2019, and he separate assault case that ran concurrent with this 10 to 20 years. Now, see, the other day I was talking about this run concurrent versus run consecutively. So Had they run it consecutively, he would have still been in jail, because if he did the first bid, they gave him 24 years, and then they ran consecutively the second charge, which was 10 to 20 years. He would still be in jail at least until 2029. What, 29? No. Yeah, I was right, because he got out at 19, so another 10 years at least. So he wouldn't have been there to kill this man. And no, y'all don't need to be giving these people no concurrent charges. Why bother? And every time they do this, it's always for something violent. It ain't never for nothing, like simple. So he stole a candy bar out the store, so we're not gonna give him more extra time. No, it's always something more serious that you are running concurrently, and now he's loose to now kill another man over a parking space. Listen, he's only 46 years old. Yeah, I think he's like 46 years old. He spent 24 years in jail. That means he went to jail when he was in his 20s. So all he's known pretty much is a violent life, because prior to him going to jail in his 20s, he probably was living a violent life. So, now he comes out, he does the same thing. More violence. No, keep his butt in jail, and nobody would have been mourning anybody. No, not at all. This is terrible. Let me get my Due Time crew on here. Who's on here? Is my Pastor Vinny on here? I can't see. I'm sorry. Oh, yes, I see my Pastor Vinny and my Pastor Brenda. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor
How are
Steph.
you?
Good. How are you?
I am well. Thank you. I am well.
Great.
Let me see what they're talking about in this chat room. And before we get our conversation started. Well, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. As we're talking about this with the Due Time crew, we're going to add in their comments. So already Capri says, yes, I should make them feel their way around the house or get them a flashlight. Listen, they'll be all right. Break a leg or two. Y'all be all right. And that'll be all right. Oh, good morning. I'm so happy that you're able to join me this morning. Pastor Brenda, Pastor Vinny, Pastor Brenda. And I'm so happy to see you back on the screen, Pastor Brenda. Oh,
This
my
gonna
goodness
be
gracious.
a real quickie.
Oh, listen, I'll take what I can get. So we've got this whole thing with this teacher who is sleeping with the special needs student. And not only is she sleeping with him, but she introduces him to drugs, fentanyl of all drugs. She introduces him to, and then she tries to coerce him to bring a gun to school so that she can shoot, or somebody can shoot, a faculty member. What do we do with her? What kind of jail time do we give her? Pastor Brenda, I'm going with you first.
She has to go under the jail. She really, when you think about her giving this special needs student, she's taking advantage of someone, really taking advantage. And fentanyl, will diminish your capacity to resist. They give it to you in a dose, in certain doses when you're having surgery. Right. So it diminishes your capacity to resist. And then, it's manipulation as well, because here she is trying to get this poor person to then bring a gun to school to shoot whoever, and probably tell them, I love you, I care about you. No, you need to be under the jail. That's my manipulation, deception. Absolutely. That's a shame. And in terms of the parent not knowing what's going on, and probably she told him, hide this from your mama, hide this from your dad, whoever he's staying with, because I love you. I'm gonna take care of you, and it's sad. It really is sad. But she needs to go under the jail.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pastor Vinny,
Yes.
what do you think about all of this going on with someone who's supposed to be taking care of our children? What goes through your head?
Where are they sleeping? Where are they sleeping? I mean, come on. I mean, special needs. So he riding a little yellow bus to get home, to go back. Is she taking him home, or she must have really entwined this fella into some kind of different lifestyle, and that she is getting away with this. This is ludicrous. This is totally ludicrous. And where is his parent? He's with his mother, I guess. Well, I mean, where is she? Where? I can't. When my sons aren't home, because I walk the house at night.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I walk the house at night. We were living someplace with one of the kids' friends. She was climbing in the back window. Was climbing in the back window. I mean, we do have a front door, and it's 1:00 in the morning. Don't you think you should be at your house?
Okay. Already climbing through the window.
Yeah. I mean, so the parent has to take a degree of accountability as well.
Right.
The parent, this is the case when the parent, should be brought into court as well. They just bring to his own devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many different dynamics. Yeah, so many different dynamics, and maybe, the mother was like, look, this is somebody else that's taking a weight off of my hands, taking interest and taking a weight off of my hands, because we don't know, at what length, this special needs child, needing care, but still, no, under the jail you go.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. Having raised my own kids, when the behavior was a little different, you kind of like, you all right over there? Right, you're like, you all right? Okay, I'm noticing something a little different. Was he sleeping a little bit more, like you said? All of a sudden, if he's sleeping with this woman, there had to be some time outside of school hours that this was being done. So my thing is, okay, so now your regimen changes.
Yes.
So you don't ask questions, you don't do anything, because see, here's the problem. Not only does your regimen change, Pastor Brenda and Pastor Vinny, but so does your behavior.
Yeah.
So you've got a whole series of things that's shifting, and you're not picking up on none of this.
None of it.
So he's staying out a little longer. He's staying out a little later. He's acting a little funny, but he might be sleeping a little more. Not only that, you always in a phone. If they said they found thousands and thousands and thousands, then you had to be constantly in a phone. So my thing is, you don't pick up on none of this stuff here. Nah, I agree. Not only that, but if mama slept this, mama done slept a whole lot of other stuff.
That's it.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows what's going on? So I'm sorry. That ain't going down so easily.
No.
And we're not paying attention, and we're not catching it. So I don't know. Now, we're talking about, this 46-year-old who just got out of jail in 2019 for extremely violent crime. Not only that, but it was two things he was charged with. He only really, in my opinion, he only really served time for one thing, because one charge he spent 24 years, but also it ran concurrently against another assault charge that they gave him 10 to 20. So now they're partnering up this time. And because they did not run this time consecutively, opposed to concurrently, he was out in 2019, only for 6 years later to now, what's 2025? 6 years later to commit another violent crime over something as petty as a parking space. What do we need to do with these people who commit these crimes? Do we need to do this concurrent thing, or do we need to do it consecutively so they can actually spend the time in prison for what they've done? I don't get it.
No, they truly need to spend the full amount of time, especially for violent crimes. This guy got a slap on the wrist, and he was back causing more mayhem.
Madness and mayhem.
You know, this is close to us because our middle son, well, all of our sons are musicians. So they're always coming in all hours, you know, of the night, you know, because that's where their gigs are. They're traveling. Our oldest one is traveling 2 or 3 hours to a gig. And so he's coming in, you know, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Most of the time I say, look, get yourself a hotel, stay down there, come back home in the morning. And, you know, thank God we have our own home. So the parking is never an issue. But, you know, you had to be concerned if you know, I guess he's living in the city or somewhere where the parking is limited. You know,
no, Pastor Benny, no, that's the problem. Well, hold on. That was a problem. Right next to where he lives is a parking space that he pays for.
Yes.
So the parking was right there. So when he came home, all he wanted to do was get in the parking space. They said he's a DJ. So he wanted to get like a few hours sleep, and then he would be right out doing another DJ gig. So he's right there at the parking space at his house.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much for folks these days. You know, everybody's on this trigger mentality. You know, and I'm with you. The sentences, you know, keep the years running. Keep the years running, because, you know, some people feel that they truly get a get out of jail free card.
Yep.
You know, that they don't have to serve any more time. It's like, you know, but for him to be somewhat okay for 6 years and then just snap.
Yeah.
It says a whole lot. It says a whole lot.
It does. It really does. It really does. Let me get some of our comments. Okay. So we're going back to the Trump and the Trump and Adams story. They say he just officially backed the puppet to Trump and cronies. No doubt about it now. That's right. Hello. We got a check-in from Evans from Kenya. Hey, Evans. Thank you so much for joining us, Pastor Brenda. Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Thank you. We got Evans. Hey, Evans. Good morning. It's evening there in Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us. Capri says, when it comes to Trump and Mayor Adams, it's all about the money. You better believe it. Vivian says, unless Trump is going to work the magic to keep Adams in office. And you know what, Vivian? You just don't know these days how he's going to get involved with all of these things now that, as Anika says, the puppeteer is now working. Shanti says, love that shirt. Thank you kindly. It's due time with Pastor Steph. Oh, yeah. All right. Capri says black men and a lot of money ain't happening. That should have told you something. A mayoral race is coming up, and now the FBI. Yeah, absolutely. All right. The Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of us. You know what, Serge? You're a mess. You're a mess. You're a mess. These guys come home and can't handle it. And absolutely, Caprice, they come home. He spent 24 years in prison. So he can't handle it. He don't even know what it is. He was 20-something years old when he went up in there. And now we just spent 24 years. He don't know how to handle it out here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kiwi. Thank you so much for joining us. And he just may have some behavioral disability. Well, going back to the student and the teacher who was sleeping with him. And this is some sad stuff. Do we have our Pastor KL on? Let's say good morning to our Pastor KL. Good morning, Pastor KL.
Hold on one second. All right, hold on. I was trying to save some light back here. Listen,
y'all can talk about it all you want to. It's Frugal Tuesday, and we're going to talk about how to save that Monday.
Candles cost money, Pastor Gail.
That's right. Everything costs $1. Good morning, Pastor Kale. How are you?
Good morning, pastors. How are you guys doing?
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm well. So here we are. We have this case of the teacher who is 28, who is sleeping with the 16-year-old special needs student. Not only is she sleeping with him, but she's giving him drugs, namely fentanyl, as well as she tried to coerce him to bring a gun to school so that someone can shoot her coworker. What is going on here, Pastor KL?
Well, first of all, this is difficult for me to even relate to. You know, back in the days, my teacher's name was Miss Gertrude. You know, and with the Miss Gertrude, you know, she wasn't sexy at all. You know, and she was so old, you knew she wasn't trying to get with you. You wasn't trying to get with her. And back in Vinny's day, you know, the person on the inside would be like, Master Vinny trying to learn how to read. You know what I mean? So he ain't had no teacher.
Oh my goodness. We will have to straighten him out, Pastor Vinny. We will have to straighten him out.
I'm making notes.
Good shots at my Pastor Vinny.
I'm making notes. That's another mark against you, Pastor Gail.
You know what? He happened. The reason why Pastor Jeff is no longer on Tuesdays is because he made Pastor Jeff so mad he wouldn't let him back in his church. So now on to the next pastor. So now you see why Pastor Jeff threw him out his church.
I'm picking them off.
Oh my goodness. What's
Gotta
going
get
on,
that admonition.
Absolutely, Pastor Vinny. How can a parent not detect that something is off with her special needs child, Pastor?
I mean, you know what? It's really, really crazy. First of all, to me, it should be even easier. I mean, when you have, for lack of a better term, a regular child, as soon as they get their first piece, you know they got their first piece. They just, here I am, man, hear me raw. You know what I mean? They think they are grown. So for someone who's special need, man, that got to be a whole lot of different attitudes. Or, you know, he can't even control himself at that point. You should be able to notice any kind of differences. You know what I mean? He's not eating no more. You know what I mean? Or listen, for a regular guy, after he gets up, he goes to sleep. So this child is sleeping all day like it's a baby, like he a baby. There's got to be something wrong. You don't want to do your homework. You don't want to play with your toys. You don't want to do nothing. No, you got to be able to see that. And then I always say, you know, children don't need no phones. So if he always in his phone, somebody needs to be in that phone with him. Because if he has special needs, listen, special needs, sometimes the phone is like babies. They just occupy your time. You know what I mean? You watch a movie or a cartoon and stuff like that, and the phone becomes your babysitter. Now, if you, the special need person, is texting paragraphs and booklets, hey, I need to see what's going on here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thousands, and they said they found thousands upon thousands upon thousands. And my question is, how? How you can found thousands and thousands and mama don't know yet that you texting?
You can't write a book report? You can't write a book report. But you can text.
Thousands and thousands of texts.
That's some lifeline.
Absolutely.
That is some lifeline, you know.
Absolutely, Pastor Vinny. You're not talking about no 1-2 a day.
You know, he ain't got no time to sleep. What is he sleeping? I guess the drugs, you know, is keeping him up. You know, the drugs are keeping up with the answer and the response to those texts. But that's you know,
ain't this something?
I mean, this is parental neglect. I mean, in glaring fashion.
Wow.
I mean, really, this mother really needs to be held accountable.
Yeah, because you think about it, just the combination of it all, makes things questionable in and of itself. All right, Pastor KL, you've got this individual who spent 20 some odd years in jail. He comes out and he really should have spent at least 10 more years in jail. They ran the two cases concurrently, opposed consecutively, and now in 6 years, he ends up shooting and killing another individual while parking space. And, you know, what does that say? Excuse me. What does that say for this concurrent versus consecutive?
Well, you know what? I'm kind of on the fence with this because apparently this is just in him. So even if he did another 10 years, he would have came out and killed somebody anyway. You understand what I'm saying? I think for some folks, you know, 20 years is enough. You know what I mean? It's going to make me think about this thing not wanting to come in anymore, you know, coming back anymore. You know, so I think, you know, certain concurrence should be fine because at 20 years, 25 years, when I get out, I should have known better. But I think with this gentleman, he could have stayed in there for 30 years. He could have stayed in there for 40 years. They apparently had not rehabilitated him while he was on the inside. He went through no programs. He went through no classes. This was who he was. So I don't think no matter how many years he did, if it's in you, it's in you.
You know what, Pastor K, you make a really good point. You know, some, like you said, some people, they come out after 5-6 years and they are rehabilitated because they've learned their lesson. Right. And yet you have somebody that he just spent pretty much 25 years in jail. And if he's going to be a killer, he's going to be a killer. If it's not worked out of him and he's built up with, you know, kicked up with all this anger. So you make a very good point. Pastor Vinny, what do you think about what Pastor KL just said about, you know what, it wouldn't have mattered whether it was consecutive or concurrent for this individual. He may have come back out and did the same thing.
Yeah, I gotta agree with him for once. You know, they say that some people just cannot be rehabilitated, and a lot of those programs, it's not rehabilitation. Keep your mind occupied, keep your hands occupied, doing something else, keeping you out of you know, harming somebody else. You know, but we as regular citizens, we have to learn how to pick our battles. We can't be caught up in, you know, when you see that the discussion is not going your way and this guy whips out a gun, you know, when it got to that point, you know, unfortunately, this DJ, this guy coming home, you know, he should have left that situation. All right, you know, you got it tonight. Let me go find me another parking space so that I can live another day. You know, you know, this guy was, I'm sure he was already hell bent on not giving this guy that spot. So we gotta really learn how to pick our battles. You know, this one was lost before he even pulled up on this guy.
You're right. It's so hard, because do you approach the subject at all? Do you approach it and then you see it getting to a certain degree? You step back. Do you not approach it? If it's 5 o'clock in the morning versus whether it's 5 o'clock in the evening. Unfortunately, these type of things, these decisions are so hard to make at times. And I agree with you. We have to pick our battles, and you walk up on a person and say, "Hey, this is my spot. Please move." I did read in the article where they said at one point the cops were called. I'm not too sure when the cops were called. I don't know if the cops were called prior to this whole thing happening or after. I don't know. But like you said, unfortunately, this was just something that was probably waiting to happen. And it wouldn't have mattered what was mattered whether it was 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. He was probably a firecracker waiting to go off. And whoever it would have been, whether it was this gentleman or a little kid, it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have come down too well. So actually, I gotta agree with you, Pastor Gail. Currently versus consecutively really doesn't matter, because if you're out havoc, you're gonna do something. You're gonna do something. And unfortunately, now you back in jail and you ain't coming out no time soon.
Right.
And here's what they also said. They also said, and I want to touch on this real quickly before we move on to our main topic. They also said that he was on lifetime parole. Does that matter, Pastor Vinny? Lifetime parole. He was out. Remember now that he ran these two things concurrently, and now he's out on lifetime parole. But listen, look at what he just did. Does lifetime parole even matter at this point?
It don't mean a thing. It don't mean a thing. It only means that you got to show up every week or every couple of weeks. Take a piss test or whatever it is, just to make sure that you're not using drugs or whatever. But they got ways around all of that. That's the education you get in jail. How to avoid, seeing your parole officer. How do you avoid, getting caught again? Yeah. This guy was really, really a lost case. He had one resident, and that was in jail.
Absolutely.
That was his forever residence in jail.
Right. And definitely now. Now. You're absolutely right, Pastor Vinny. Pastor KL, lifetime parole doesn't matter.
Well, it didn't matter to him. I think it matters, but it didn't matter to him. I mean, listen, again, if the average person who don't want to go back to jail because he did 5 years, it matters. Let me tell you something. In my store, and I sell a whole lot of stuff, my top seller is cranberry juice. You know why? Because cranberry juice flushes out if you smoke marijuana. So if you have to take the test, enough cranberry juice will flush it out. So to Pastor Vinny's point, they know how to get around it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So and they scared of that life parole. They don't want to break that. You know what I mean? So they do what they need to do to stay out of trouble. So if smoking is just their recreational thing, for them that's fine because they can get away with it. You can't get away with killing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, unfortunately for this particular individual, his sentencing wasn't enough. His lifetime parole was not enough. Terrence says some people are just beyond help, and they're just where they are. And if they don't get any rehabilitation, if they don't get any special help, then no, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter at all. All right, thank you, gentlemen, for indulging me on our news. We've got some videos, and I want to see, what we got to say about this thing. All right, roll them, Shantice.
Wonderful time all these days, but God has something special for someone.
He has done it for me. He has done it. Is that your testimony? Listen. Even before I pray, Jehovah Nissi answered me. So He has done it for me.
Thank you for your mom and dad again, for my parents, for our spiritual parents, and before the church.
See what the Lord has done. Can you see what the Lord has done? What we waited for has come to pass. See what the Lord has done. On your wedding day, you're gonna sing that. Can you see what the Lord has done? When you walk into that property, can you see what the Lord has? When that healing happens, what we've been praying for, He has brought to pass. See what the Lord has done.
Woo! All right, Shantice, come on and join us. So you could step in for Pastor Brenda. Good morning.
Oh, man. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Why are you
morning.
on with us? Why are you on with us twice? Oh, okay. All
I
right.
could barely take you one time.
I thought you was trying to steal the show. Oh my goodness gracious. Good morning. Well, thank you for joining us. Pastor Vinny, Pastor KL, and Shantice. We saw 3 different videos. The first video was of a church service going on. It was a young woman who was kneeling and she was praying. And when she opened up her eyes, there was a gentleman kneeled before her, and he was proposing to her. Pastor Vinny, she was praying in church service to open up her eyes and find a man who was proposing to her. I want to take one video at a time. Don't talk about the other 2 videos. What's your thought? What's your thought, Pastor Vinny?
I think it's too much. First of all, you don't know what this young lady's praying about. I don't think he knew what she was praying about. It's a private time between her and God. She's trying to get her head straight about, or her life straight about whatever, and to have this whole scenario replayed in front of her. I think it's a tremendous amount of pressure put on an individual. I mean, I don't, what is she going to say? In front of all these people, in front of all this, it's a tremendous amount of pressure. How do you know what's in her heart? She would have been even too embarrassed to say no. Kind of pressure. I don't think that's the place for it.
Okay. Shantice.
Can you hear me? Is my audio good?
You were good.
Your audio is good.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what. So obviously we're both not in church for the same thing, because if I look over and see you bent over like that praying, and she looked like she was in genuine, authentic worship and praise, that I still have this box in my hand waiting for the right moment to walk up to you and they'll like, what are you doing? So you, like Pastor Vinny said, you have no idea what she's praying about. How you know she wasn't praying to God to remove you from her life? And here you come in. Here you come with like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, you don't know what be going on. Pastor keeps saying, compliment the man, but take your complaints to God. So if she's actually following that, then you don't really know how many complaints there are. But yet you're interrupting her conversation with God to propose. That doesn't make any sense. I didn't find anything cute about that at all. Okay. And I bet the ring wasn't even big.
You know what? You know what? It would take you to say something like that.
I'm just saying.
Pastor Brenda would not have said that.
That's because Pastor Brenda is married already. That's because Pastor Brenda has her Boaz.
Oh, please. Oh, she's got better than Boaz.
I know, right? Exactly. I like the Pastor Vinny.
Pastor KL, she's praying and she opens up her eyes to find someone kneeling in front of her, asking her or prepared to ask her to marry him.
Funny enough, I thought of the same thing my niece said. Unless I was praying for you, you know what I mean? Then what if I was praying to get you away from me? Then you come with this ring, and the first thing I'm saying, I can't even get a prayer through. You know what I mean? God don't listen to me. God, I just told you to get him away from me. And then the other thing you got to look at too, he wasn't in prayer. So he's not a church person. You know what I mean? Because a church person, if everybody praying, he'd have been in prayer. And a lot of times as guys who are not a church person, we come to church because we had an argument and we trying to make up. Okay, I'll come with you to church. Okay, I'll do this. Because the argument is, I need somebody that's going to go to church with me. I need somebody that's going to pray with me. I need somebody that I can talk to about this. So now he's giving in, and he's figured that if I bring a ring in church, then I'm really in with you.
Wow. All right. I want to go to the third video where they tap her and they let her know, to pay attention. Now the church is in on this one. So they tap her, they let her, wait. Let me go back to my comments. We have, wow, the ring was not big. Yeah. We are to respect, that's Terrence. Anika says, we are to respect others' worship time during service, not to be a distraction. That could have been done after service. And Vivian says, why so cynical? Terrence says, what's crazy is even if she wanted to leave him in her prayers, she won't now because she was put on the spot and she doesn't want to look bad in front of people. Okay. Terrence walked into my next scenario. With the third video, the church is now in on it. And now they point her into the direction of this gentleman who wants to propose, and she finds him in the proposal stance. And now I want to stop right there for a second. The church is in on it during church service. Shantice, what say you?
Well, I guess this wasn't the pause that refreshes. Because you said during service. So at what point I'm trying to like visualize, because I've really only sat under two pastors, and I'm trying to visualize someone approaching either one of these pastors, who are women, mind you, and saying, okay, so at this point in the program, I would like to propose to so-and-so, but I'm gonna need y'all help. And I'm trying to envision either pastor looking and saying, okay, cool, so what you want us to do? During service, not right before lunch, not after we say grace, during the service. And I'm emphasizing the fact that these are female pastors, because typically you would think, oh, it's female pastors, so they should get it and they should be all, oh my gosh, okay. But one of those female pastors said she wasn't marrying anybody else, because everybody ended up being a joke after they said I do. You got the other female pastor, she busy sitting everybody down, so you can't even get up long enough to propose to anybody. So I'm really trying to understand how, forget the congregants, because again, especially if it's a bunch of women, typically they're going to be in on it. How leadership felt like this is the opportunity to break everyone's focus. As Pastor KL said, you don't know who is in the building and for what reason, but now we all got to be here for an episode of The Real Housewives of Christ, because you want to propose during service. And it's like, but what are we doing? You know what? That's when leadership comes into question for me. I don't know.
Pastor Vinny, what say you? The church is now a part of the proposal. What say you?
They may have been part of the proposal, but they sure weren't part of this relationship going on, because she looked like she was ready to pass out.
I hadn't even gotten there yet. Yes, okay.
Am I going too fast?
No, you're all right. You're all right. You're all right.
We got you know who that's back in. She must have heard you call her name.
What's up? What's up?
This was, I don't know whether it's too much estrogen, Shantice, but this was so much extra. This was, if I was that guy, this was not the response I was looking for. This was definitely not the response. Now there's 4 people trying to hold her up. I don't know, from passing out or getting, the Holy Spirit was all over her and she couldn't see anymore. It was. Yeah, you didn't see it.
No.
Yeah.
What was it?
Shantice, would you explain the video to Pastor Brenda?
Yes.
So show the video again. Show the video again.
Yeah.
Show the video again, please.
I don't want to miss anything.
You know he can't read.
Watch it, man.
What we waited for has come to pass. See what the Lord has done. On your wedding day, you're gonna sing that. Can you see what the Lord has done? When you walk into that property, can you see what the Lord has? When that healing happens, what we've been praying for, He has brought to pass. See what the Lord has done.
The Rock. The Rock of Gibraltar.
Oh,
Way too much. Way too much.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, I get that, you want people to recognize that, you're in a relationship, or you're taking your relationship to the next level, but there's a lot to unpack there. It's a lot to unpack. I mean, okay. I gotta let that sit with me for a minute.
Okay. Pastor KL, we talked about the fact that the whole church, during church service, the entire church is involved with the proposal. And then Pastor Vinny went to the next level, where I was going to point out, she's at the point, where she's passing out. She can't contain herself. She can't believe what's going on. What's happening here in church service?
First of all, she wasn't slayed in the spirit, so that's the first thing. And from when you hear the music, she's interrupting my worship service. The psalmist, see what the Lord has done. You interrupted my worship service. Not only that, as we spoke about, I think last week, it's hard enough to get people to church.
Yeah.
And people coming to church for a reason, because they want to see what the Lord has done. I don't want these shenanigans. I don't want to see your parade. I don't want to see all that. Now, church, if you're so excited about that, let's go out for lunch, and let's make the proposal at lunch. It'll be the same surprise, but don't interrupt my. First of all, you interrupt the spirit of the church. You interrupted the word that I had for the church. So you became bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
No.
You got to do things in decency and in order. And I remember when we got engaged, I went to Pastor Vinny's church, and his pastor blessed the engagement ring in front of the congregation. But there was no music playing. There was no words. It was just a simple prayer, one and done. And
just before the benediction. But
when you're playing something, see what the Lord has done. That's what He did for you. What He gonna do for somebody else? Somebody gonna get a ring like that? I mean, what kind of aspirations are then you putting in people's minds? And
go a little further from what Pastor Brenda said. So, if we're not equally yoked, and God didn't put us together, the Lord ain't do it. So stop blaming God.
Wow.
Because now when the thing falls apart, then what you gonna say? See what the Lord has done? He made it fall apart?
God did it.
Yep. I'll save my comments for the closing. Because y'all stepping on my toes over here. I'm thinking about some things. All right. Shantae, play the second video for us, please. So Pastor Brenda can see the second video. And maybe for anyone who has not.
It's been a wonderful time all the days, but God has something special for someone.
He has done it for me. Testimony. Listen. Even before I pray, he held my knees, answered me. So he has done it for me.
Day for your mom and dad again, for my parents, for our spiritual parents, and before the church.
Again, no.
Hold on. Let me read the comments from the last video. Tara says that ring was big, so you know she's not going to leave him. Majesty Caprice says she didn't look like she was ready, not falling out, she didn't. And Anika says all for the surprise factor. and Caprice Majesty says he didn't look her type. And he couldn't even pick a ring, so he just, okay, that's the new one. All right, Pastor Brenda, you started.
No. I said no. I mean, come on. It's like, come on. This is showboating now. It's something that you do with your friends and your family. Come on. And then having this display. Where you at a jewelry shop? I mean, again, I can't get with that. I'm sorry. I just can't. It just sets my nerves on edge. I wouldn't like that.
Okay. Pastor Vinny.
All right, Cracker Jacks. Cracker Jacks, pick a ring. Pick a you know,
do it.
Again. You know, that proposal is something that's supposed to be
Special,
private, something memorable, not this big hoopty-doo. You know, it's something that's between you two that you can remember. You know, not what the church did, or how the church reacted, how the church responded. No. Too extra.
And as the said, what happens when, you know, God
Hold on one second, Pastor Brenda. For some reason, we're getting some feedback.
We're getting echo.
Okay. All right. Try to talk again, Pastor Brenda.
You know, as Pastor said, what happens? You know, God forbid when something was up and spoke down the road. You've had this, you're going to come back and have this dramatic, you know, we're breaking up portion of the service. I don't know.
I don't know either, Pastor Brenda. Pastor KL, what's going on here?
This is why we don't allow the Prince of Zamunda to come to America. You know, we just cannot do this at all. You know what I mean? We as Americans can barely find one ring. The Prince of Zamunda gives you options for 6 rings. You know, first of all, the way I look at it is that ring finding is personal. You know, this is what you want your wife to be to have. But now when you give her the option, man, you are creating a monster down the road.
Wow. Shantice?
I'm trying to visualize this. So I'm up there singing praise and worship. I'm finally able to hit this note I've been trying to hit all week during rehearsal. And then here you come, tapping me on the shoulder or getting somebody else to tap me on the shoulder to propose. This is not the time. And as Pastor Vinny and Pastor Brenda was talking, that's something that I always envisioned. Like, it would be nice if someone came and, thought, oh, I want to propose to Shantice, and they got his family, my family, the family members who know how to act, and everybody's there. But would I prefer that, or would I prefer just being him and I, and he set something up nice, and we're able, and he tells me how he feels, and if I want to turn him down, I'm not embarrassing him, or if I want to say yes, it's just that intimate moment. I think that's just a lot, but because everything is just, as Pastor Brenda said, everything is just for show now. It's just let's just do it so we can go viral, or so now I can show so and so my video. I could post this, and this can look like somebody else's proposal I saw on so and so stories on Instagram. It's just like where people think that takes a lot of thought. It really doesn't. It takes more thought for it to just be that one-on-one. Because it's like now it's just you and I. I'm looking at you, you looking at me. I have to really formulate my words. I have to show you I've been reading alone and get my vocabulary up. Like, I gotta show all that. See, you didn't have to say much here. Because you just got, and we did, Vivian and I believe it was in season 1 on one of our episodes of With All Due Respect, Vivian pulled this content up where it was a slideshow of videos where men were coming with like 3, 4, 5 different engagement rings. And we were like, well, what is this? You might as well just go to the store with you and just say which one you want. It's just like, come on, it's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's benefits a lot.
My new time thank you so much for your contribution into today's conversation. And we pray you have a blessed day.
You as well. You as well.
Take care. All right.
All right. Let's see what our comments say. All right. Anika says he couldn't even pick a ring, so he just brought all of them. Majesty says, I like choices. He should have asked her what she liked. Okay. Everyone, exactly. I would rather pick my own ring. Wow. Okay. Let's get this benediction here. May Christ dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. Ephesians 3:17 through 19. All right, let's talk about proposal number 1, where the young lady was genuinely in prayer. And when she opened up her eyes, she finds this guy proposing to her. Well, needless to say, I think it was Pastor KL who said, you're not quite understanding why we're here. If she's in prayer, when you come down off your prayer, you don't just, it's not business as usual. When you come down off your prayer, you're focused, you're thinking, you're kind of laying back, trying to just kind of get your thoughts together. It's a quiet time that you need with the Lord, even after prayer. So now here I'm coming off prayer. We've got the music playing that's setting the atmosphere for prayer in service, for worship in service. And here I am. I got to now deal with your proposal. You in my face requiring an answer. Because you surely don't make this presentation at any old place in front of anybody for me to tell you, let me think about it. That's not the average expectation. So now I'm supposed to come from being one-on-one with the Lord to now having to answer you. And you don't know, as they all say, you don't know what I've been praying about. Whether I was praying about our relationship, whether I was praying for you because I'm seeing some things that I would, ask the Lord about for you, whether I'm praying about my rent, I'm praying about somebody else in the church. Nobody knows what she was praying for. And now I have you in my face expecting an answer. Way out of pocket. Way out of pocket. We're in church for one thing, and that's to worship and praise the Lord with like-minded people. So clearly, we're not like-minded people, because you got whether we're going to be married on your mind, and I want to be here worshiping and praising the Lord on my mind. So clearly, we're not on the same page. We have the second one we brought up, and that was where, he proposes to her. Look at what the Lord has done is in the background, and she's falling out all over the place. Now, I don't know what the general thought was, but for Pastor Steph, my thought was, hey, I can't believe this is happening. This is what I took. This is what I took. Oh, I can't believe what's happening. Oh, he finally proposed. He did it in his grand scale. And oh my goodness, this is what I've been looking for. Blah, blah, blah. I brought up the issue of the church is involved. And here's my problem. Okay, so we know the masses, were involved because, everybody's kind of gathered around, and, when she walks off, they're grabbing her and they're rerouting her to come back and face this thing and, give him an answer, give him some attention, blah, blah, blah. So now my question is, where's the focus for the church? Look at what the Lord has done. There's somebody talking. And I'm not sure if that's the pastor, the preacher. I don't know who that is on, down there. I don't know if that's the husband to be. I don't know. I couldn't quite tell. When I was rewatching the video, there's some other thought came in my mind. However, going back to my point of everybody's involved. Now, the whole focus of the church is rerouted. And even if this were done after church, that's still, to me, taken away from what just happened in service. And I don't know at what point. This could have been an hour. Maybe they regathered. I don't know. But I really hope this was not during the church service at any point. Because now you've got this entire melee going on. And what happened to the church service? Again, why are we gathered here? So now here she is. She's dealing with all these emotions now of, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go with either side. Whether it's, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this is going on. Or, oh my gosh, now you put me on the spot. Either way, her focus is diverted. Not good. Let's go to this last scenario. Now, was she actually in singing? And they reroute her to turn around to someone on his knees who says, I'm doing this before blah, blah, my parents, all that. No, you literally stopped the service. Now, the first guy, this was just a one-on-one thing. You literally stopped the service. She was actually in service. She's worshiping, and you stop her so that you can get her attention, and then you bust out with the rings as an option. So all of this is supposed to take place during God's time. During God's time. Now here's the thing. Pastor Kale brought up the fact that, we're just happy to get people up in the church. My thought also was, people only go to church once a week. So y'all done been to church once a week. And now this is what happens during church service. The church has become the main stage. And that's that. Unfortunately, this is just one of the things that the church has become the main stage for. The church has become, again, Shantice brought up how many likes, how many followers, can we go viral? And I'm gonna be honest, if this was Pastor Steph, and some people say, well, Pastor Steph is because you're Pastor Steph. But at this point in my life, and I'm gonna say it like that. At this point in my life, if that were to happen, I don't know if that I would look at that as a sign that we're ready. Because here's my thing. If you know me, then you better not pull that garbage. You as flattered as I may be, as happy as I may be that you are proposing to me, I sure hope to God it ain't like this in church service. Because church service is time for me and God, me and the rest of the worshipers, me and the rest of the congregation. We are corporately praising, worshiping, and praying. And now I got to now make a decision as to whether I'm going to accept your proposal during the time that I'm now before the Lord. I'm sorry. That's not where I want to go. And I think we need, as pastors, we're going to have to step our game up and now incorporate the do's and don'ts of church service. Because clearly, all of this going on, I go back to what Shanti said. Where was leadership? Because I'm the one who, she said, sits everybody down. I'm sorry. The Lord will tell me to sit you down. I'm going to sit you down. It ain't no free for all going on up in this ministry, this church. And we need to make sure that we understand the purpose of church service. We're here once a week. And once a week, we are not going to divert the attention away from God. And then my question becomes, where's your mind? That means that your mind is not here. Again, it goes back to what we said earlier. Your mind is not here for the same reason why I'm here. And I understand we may not be in the same place in our relationship with God. That's okay. However, you should know me well enough to know that this ain't the time nor the place. So, pastors, this is an indication that we are going to have to make sure that we're on our game. Because I'm looking at at least 2 church services, not the third. Because it doesn't look like the first guy, anybody knew what he was doing. But the second and the third, absolutely. And again, I say, even if it was not absolutely during, the service, do you want it that close to the service where now we're just moving on to something else? Because certain people need some time to come down. I don't know if Mary or Brother Jones or Deacon Brown may need to get that transitional period. I remember when we used to go to church upstate, we used to travel and we used to leave church late. So it was after sunset. So the girls thought that, okay, well, it's after sunset. We can play our regular music. And they would just turn on the music when we would be coming home and we'd be like, oh no, I'm sorry. I know it's sunset. However, I need that time to separate. I can't go from A to Z instantaneously. I do need to go from A to B to C to D. I need that transition time where I need to focus on what we've just received for the day. And then I can move into, business as usual. Now, that may not come, until I get home. And it would take us at least an hour to get home. But let me have that time. I know that may not be for you. You may be able to straight into the next phase because it's sunset. But for me, I need that time to just kind of balance the scale. Let me get on an even plane. Maybe I even want to talk about something that happened during service. But if all your mind is on your great big proposal that took place, and now all I got to hear about for the rest of the night is the fact that, hey, you got these rings to choose from, which one was the best? And no, I'm sorry. So pastors, we got work to do. We got work to do, whether it's on us first, because we don't know how to allow for other people to make that transition, even if we don't need it. And if we understand that, then we need to teach our congregants, these are the things we do and these are the things we don't do. If we want to have a separate service and the whole 9 yards, to do it at this scale, like Pastor Brenda said, they just ushered in, the rings and made the announcement, said, we're going to bless these rings. That's a horse of a different color. But for this level of what we just got finished seeing in these last 2 videos, we need some time. So let's just kind of get ourselves together so we can get our congregants together. Okay? All right. Hey, we're closing up now, and we're going to talk about our sponsors, Craft Corner, the ones who bring us our wonderful hot water and cold water tumblers and mugs and great things. Make sure you get up in that chat room and you get that information. All our embroidery manufacturers, it's Due Time with Pastor Steph shirt I'm sporting today. You can get yours. Ask. Check the chat room. Okay. Make sure before you go anywhere that you subscribe so that you will be notified each and every time we do something here on this channel. Okay. All right. You've been listening to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping us do what we do. Thanks for the chat. I love it. I love it. Please do not miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to anyone. Until Thursday. Yeah, not until Thursday, but let me just remind you that on Thursday, right here on A Closer Walk Christian Talk Show YouTube channel, My 2 Cents, Pastor Steph, Shantice, and that Brooklyn guy, Brother Ainsley, will be here to review the movies that have been nominated for the Oscar Awards next month. So let's see if they're diversified enough. Okay, but until tomorrow, God spares, where it's Wow Wednesday. Until then, I love you.